So over the years, I've also received a lot of questions with respect to the brand side or the agency side for people who are thinking about getting into marketing in terms of their careers. So a lot of people might think that, there's a lot of technical or tactical differences. There actually really isn't. It more or less really is the same skill set, and it's really kind of the same strategies and tactics and all that good stuff. I think one of the best ways to think about whether you're more an agency or a brand side type person is to really think about your personality, and I really truly mean that. Now, if you have a large ego, you're probably going to be more of a brand person, and there's a reason for that. It's because brand people really like to dig their heels into what they're doing. There's a greater sense of ownership when it comes to the brand side. That doesn't mean that the agency side doesn't have any ownership. It's a different type of ownership. But when it comes to being on the brand side, really whatever brand you're working on, let's say it's Victoria's Secret, you really are sort of digging your heels into that brand and putting all of your energy towards that. So if you do have a relatively large ego, and there's nothing wrong with that, the brand side is probably more for you. If you don't have that much of an ego, then the agency side may actually be the right fit for you. And the agency side also has a lot of its own advantages. So let's say you're the type of person who actually doesn't like to sort of stick to one account, and you like that variety. You like working with multiple brands, multiple companies, multiple accounts. The agency side, of course, it depends. Once you get working at the agency, it depends on, what accounts they have and what you're assigned and the teams and all that. Fine, sure. And on the agency side, you also get the opportunity to work on multiple campaigns. So one account might be doing a particular social media campaign. Another account might be doing a completely different type of digital campaign. Another account might be doing a completely different type of traditional media campaign. But if you kind of thrive in that sort of environment where variety is really kind of ruling, then you really might think about the agency side. Now for a second, just to talk about some negative things that could happen on either side. If you don't do a good job on the brand side, well then ultimately you're probably going to get fired, sadly. And if you don't do a good job on the agency side, generally when you don't do well on an account and on the agency side, they'll sort of kind of, take that in stride and say, all right, so maybe this account just doesn't work for you, or the personalities on the client side don't really work out for you, and they'll put you maybe on another account. Now, if you mess up on that account too, well then it's probably not the clients, but it's probably more about you. So of course, each of them have their own pitfalls. Now let me say one more thing about the agency versus the brand side. Typically, it is a little bit easier to get a job at an agency and a little bit more difficult to get a job at a brand. A little bit more difficult. I hope I'm not alienating the people who are going to be on the agency side by saying this. I'm a little bit cognizant of that, and I hope that's not what I just did. So now you know one of the key ways in how to go about thinking about brand or agency side, and I wish you a lot of luck. So send me your comments and questions, and each week you'll get a chance to win a copy of my book, and I'll answer your comments and questions during the QA video for that week.